God is dead. These words penned by Friedrich Nietzsche shook the foundations of traditional thought and morality. But what did he mean by this statement? And how do his ideas continue to influence us today? Let's explore the philosophy of Nietzsche and uncover the significance of his ideas. Hello and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel, and I am Mehreen. Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher born on October 15, 1844 in Prussia. He is known for his critiques of traditional morality, religion, and philosophy. Nietzsche's father, Karl Ludwig, was a Lutheran pastor who died when Friedrich was just 5 years old. He became a professor of classical philosophy at the University of Basel at 24, but resigned due to his health issues. Nietzsche's philosophy focuses on individualism, self-overcoming, and the will to power. He believed that people should create their own values and meaning in life. His famous declaration, God is dead, is a philosophical concept rather than a literal event. In his book, Thus Spoke Zarathustra, in 1883, Nietzsche wrote, God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him. How shall we comfort ourselves, the murderers of all murderers? It is rather a metaphorical declaration about the decline of traditional values and beliefs in modern society. He argued that the rise of science, reason, and modernity had led to a decline in traditional religious and moral values. He is of the view that without a divine authority, life loses its objective meaning and purpose. But how could a man live in a society where the God is absent? When, in the absence of God, it creates a void, a space in the life of a man. He is of the view that this space, this void, this vacant place must be filled. But with what? Here comes the responsibility of an individual. He lays much importance on individual freedom and responsibility. He is of the view that individuals must take responsibility for creating their own values and meaning in life. They must not be dependent on anything, whether this is religion, culture, tradition, or art. A man must create his own world, which must be complete in its fuller sense. He often used to ask a question from his students that who is going to change the condition of this world? Because we must remember that he witnessed the World War, which had a drastic impact on the minds of human beings. So he often used to ask this question from his students that who is going to change this world? Who is going to be responsible for all this? Then, of course, the answer of the students was God. God is going to change the conditions of this world because everything is happening according to the will of God. But this idea, this answer was not at all acceptable to Nietzsche. If I am to describe Nietzsche's whole philosophy in a nutshell, I would say that his whole philosophy depends upon three keywords. First one is Übermensch, and second one is death of God. Third one is will to power. He has described this philosophy in a very famous work of him, which name was Thus Spoke Zarathustra. According to Übermensch, which means in English the Superman, he talks about the superhuman qualities. He lays much stress on the human qualities. He is of the view that man has the ability to change the whole universe. He is able to change the face of the earth. That is why he lays much stress on the human qualities. He is of the view that man must understand his inner potential and must not be dependent upon religion or anything else. He is very much against Christianity and even religion. He says that religion bounds the human qualities. It restricts the human potential. Übermensch or Superman represents a being who transcends conventional moral and cultural norms, thus creating his own values and meaning in life, embracing his unique strengths and creativity. The Übermensch continuously strives to surpass their limitations and achieve excellence. He represents a rejection of traditional moral values and creation of new individual values. Nietzsche wants a human being to throw off the shackles of religion and other norms of society. He wants individuals to come out of all these boundaries which are set by society and religion. The Übermensch is not necessarily about physical strength or superiority, but rather about spiritual and intellectual intelligence. This concept is not at all about dominating others, but rather about individual self-overcoming and creativity. The Übermensch remains a complex and influential concept in Nietzsche's philosophy, inspiring discussion about human potential, individuality, and creativity. In a simpler word, we can say that Nietzsche lays stress on the creativity and potential of a human being. He hated alcohol as much as religion. Thus, a godless world doesn't mean a chaotic world, a world full of disorders. It means a world which empowers the human beings, which glorifies a human being. This concept is also present in Islam. That is why we are called Ashraful Makhluqat. Here I want to share a very important event of Nietzsche's life, which became a turning point in his life. On January 3rd, 1889, Nietzsche witnessed a horse being beaten by its owner in Piazza Carlo Alberto in Turin. Moved by compassion and empathy, Nietzsche rushed to the horse and threw his arms around its neck, collapsing to the ground. And he was shouting loudly, "I understand you, my friend. I understand you. I understand you." This dramatic reaction marked the beginning of his mental breakdown. Following the incident, Nietzsche's mental state deteriorated rapidly. He was diagnosed with a severe mental illness, which some attribute to the progression of his pre-existing conditions. This incident highlights Nietzsche's capacity for compassion and empathy, which contrasts with his philosophical ideas on individualism and the will to power. The event has been seen as a symbol of Nietzsche's own feeling of vulnerability and powerlessness. This incident remained a pivotal moment in Nietzsche's life, marking the end of his productive philosophical career and the beginning of his struggles with mental illness. Nietzsche's health issues began long before his death. He suffered from frequent headaches, persistent problems that affected his overall health. He had some digestive issues too. Nietzsche's eyesight was compromised, making it difficult for him to write and read. Ultimately, Nietzsche died on August 25th, 1900, in Germany, after contracting pneumonia and suffering another stroke. Nietzsche died, but his philosophy, his concept of individualism, his idea of being a superhuman never dies.